Hello, everyone. Hope you all are having a wonderful day. Welcome to today's meetup session on implement retrieval augmented generation with Azure OpenAI services. This event is hosted by Data Couch, and today we are honored to have our SME Vishwanatha Swami as our instructor for the session. Now, let me introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Swami. He's an architect at AIS, a leading provider of software and cloud solutions. Swami is a certified Scrum Master and leads the DevOps team, overseeing Scrum ceremonies, project deliverables, project requirements, scope, duration, and cost definition. He possesses an extensive experience in designing, developing microservices architecture, deploying services in Azure Service Fabric, Docker, Kubernetes cluster, conducting performance testing, and PCI PA DSS certification. Swami has also been recognized as most valuable professional by Microsoft. We warmly welcome Mr. Swami and look forward to his insights during today's session. Before we begin, let me take a moment to introduce Data Couch. We are leaders in professional service delivery, specializing in generative AI, data engineering, cloud, blockchain, cybersecurity, agile, DevOps, data science based consulting, implementation, and training. Our offerings include consultancy, custom solution implementation, enablement services, and upskilling and training. In addition to our core offerings, we have a proprietary browser based lab solution, and we also offer managed services for infrastructure and human capital to meet the unique requirements of organizations of all sizes and scale. We are excited to share that our global footprint has enabled us to transform the career of over 200K professionals. Thanks to this growing community of learners, our expertise now spans cutting edge technologies like Web3, generative AI, big data, DevOps, and cloud, to name just a few, where we continue to push the boundaries of innovation. Highlighting our significant achievements, we have successfully partnered with Fortune 500 companies and global system integrators such as Infosys, Accenture, and TCS, as well as tech giants like Apple, Google, and financial corporations like PayPal, Bank of America, and among others. Driven by a commitment to community and knowledge sharing, we have established three meetup groups: AI Mind, Generative AI User Group, and All Things Data. With a membership exceeding 25,000 plus, our community has participated in over 200 such sessions, covering more than 100 diverse technologies and tools. We are honored to announce that Confluent has recognized us the only global education partner for the year 2022 and 2023. This recognition, received for the second consecutive year, underscores our leadership in providing cutting edge training and consultancy services on a global scale. As the first delivery partner for Starburst Data, One House, and Event Store, we are proud to forge and build upon strong partnerships with industry leaders. While some client name remain confidential, our collaboration include a global beverage and snack multinational, a premier North American payment solution provider, a cutting-edge cybersecurity and risk management platform, and a retail giant with operators across 5 continents. Now, I would like Swami to take over the session.
So guys, this is my couple of links I'll give before we proceed further. That's my main GitHub page, and this is where I will have all the events wherever I'm talking. So today's documentation is almost done. I need to check in. So it will be in today's date. It will be this format. If you see that it is 1206 data coach, the same. It is A6, S6. This will be S7, session 7. Okay, that will be checked in into this by tomorrow. So let me put this over here, and the source code for today's session will be exactly in this one. It's already linked it here. So when you navigate to that page, it will directly take you to this folder where all these things are available. So these three are uh, important links. I'll just, for the benefit, I'll just put this over here, even this one. Okay, that's cool then. Um, we have a lot of things to do today. So before proceeding further, I would like to present this information. I'm still a learner, lifelong learner. So apologize if I do any mistake, if I don't know any answer. I'll openly tell that I don't know. I will definitely go back, learn, and come back with the answer. And if I'm unable to come back, I'll just clearly let you know that I could not hit it. Okay. So please fasten your seatbelt. We have a lot of things to do. So today's topic is RAG. Let's quickly look at the syllabus and then we will see out of this. I'm calling this as chapters, modules. I don't know what should I call. Lack of better word, I'm calling this as a chapter. At other place, I completed 1, 2, and this is the final session on this one. 3 chapters. But at Data Couch, we directly started with this. So still, if we are going ahead in 2025 with AI, so we'll be going through all these chapters. If not, something else we'll plan. But as of today, assuming we are going ahead with this, so let me come back to this chapter. And this has got 6 modules, and we have completed generate images. We saw DALI and we generated the code. We did prompt engineering, advanced, little bit of advanced prompt engineering, and building the natural language solutions. We saw all those things, and today we are speaking about the RAG. So I just prepared. Generally, I don't prepare any documentation, as you know that mine is zero slide shows always. So I took help of ChatGPT, this one, to create the notes. So I liked it. At least we have something definitely to speak as setting up the context. Now, where will this RAG comes, or retrieval augmented generation? Okay, we'll spend a minute on that, but before that, let's come back to this and see a couple of other things. Suppose let's assume that I'm back into this chart playground and I'm telling that tell me about India. So it is going to give me some information which is very similar to what what we are seeing in this image. If we come back to this one, this is without RAG. So almost, if you see that it started with geography, government, and economy, but even if you see that plus or minus, it gives the same information. This we are not using augmented. We are not using RAG. Okay. So suppose if I ask now, the models are very advanced. Okay. So what is current time in India? So previously, when we used to say that, it used to say that I don't have information, or sometimes what nowadays I'm seeing in Chat GPT is that it is prompting a message when we ask similar question where it doesn't have the information or it wasn't trained on that particular piece. It says it's searching the web and it goes and gets the information. Now it, it's doing its best judgment, saying that what is IST and GMT plus 5.5. At least it gives this much of information. Now here comes the RAG pattern. Now suppose if I'm saying that, oh God, what is this? What is the status of my order? So if I'm asking this kind of question, so it doesn't have any information and it is clearly telling this. So this is where the RAG comes into the picture. So that's the motivation. Assuming that if we have our company, we are working for a company where it is selling products, and customer is logging and there is a chatbot somewhere on the page and is asking what is the status of my order, and then chatbot is asking what is your order id, and user is giving his order id. So then internally, using this RAG, we go and talk to the SQL database and then get the data. So let's see. We'll come back to that one in a minute. But for the time being, we will be spending on something else. Okay. So now let's discuss about the RAG. So retrieval augmented generation, RAG. So what is this? Is it is a combination of the existing data source with the models, GPT models, the generative models. Now, what happens is our knowledge base could be a document store or a database or a search engine where we already have it. So what we can do is, why did I show this? I'm sorry, I have to cut this, come back and explain this. Why did I come back and show this is RAG is pretty much part of the previous three chapters, which I didn't cover in the other community also. I completed chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 6. I jumped the line chapter 3, 4, and 5. So some of the pieces like Azure search and vectors and RAGs, those things will come inside this, which I didn't complete. So as of today, what we will do is we'll stick to those terms, saying that okay, RAG is this one, generation is this one. We'll stick to the terms, and then we'll come back and we'll fix our fundamentals a little later. So now here, what is happening is we have the data somewhere uh, within ourselves. Like maybe the database is there, like as I was mentioning previously, if a user is asking what is the status of my order, or what is the status of the insurance claim which I submitted. So these things is some of the things we want to use the model. Assume that we have used GPT-4 and did some training on top of that, uh, modified it, customized that model, and using that in our web application. So it will be going and talking to our data source. Now, if any user comes and is asking, what about my claim, and what about the claim, or about what about the treatment, or something related to the particular business, may it be the hospital or insurance or product or tourism, all these documents we will upload it. Okay, so here the augmentation, what happens is the retrieved information is used as the context. So this is not something new which we are seeing now, which we already saw that in one of our previous exercises, where we were having the grounding.txt. So that was related to the red panda. So without giving that grounding txt, when we were sending the information, at the time what happened is it used to give us an information that I don't know, something of that kind it told. But when we gave a proper grounding.txt, able to find. So let's quickly go and see that previous one, the grounding. I was talking about this one. So in this sample, if you see that in the program, if you see, we were having the grounding text somewhere in this. We used to go and get the grounding data and assign it. What is this? This is chapter 3. So if you go to that in this prompt engineering, here we will have the documentation of the grounding one. If you see at the bottom, we have the code. So we were, this is without grounding. And then what we are doing is we are reading the text. So apart from the user message is the prompt, whatever the prompt user has given, plus whatever we were reading from the grounding text. Now, if you see the grounding text, it is speaking about the wildlife. We are combining the prompt and also the grounding text, and then sent that particular information. Again, we can come back to the C# program. Somewhere we are format the results here that we embed the code. Now the prompt itself has got prompt and the text file content, and that prompt has been sent, and we are retrieving it. So that's the kind of thing which we used to do previously. Now let's come back to our this thing. The augmented is we have some content along with the prompt, which we combine our own retrieval information plus the prompt and send it to the model. And this generative model is generating the information. It uses some of the grounding information, most of the grounding information, and it generates this one. So what happens is accuracy, contextual awareness, scalability, cost efficiency, all these things. But at least from first 2 points, from the accuracy perspective, something which ChatGPT is not trained on, and we can uh, we can get benefited, or the users who are using this particular application will get benefited. Let's assume that we have created a new dish, or added some flavors to the existing dish, and we publish that article, and go and ask ChatGPT how you create dai vada with something else on top of that. We did some customization. If no one would have done, then ChatGPT will not know because it was not trained on that. This is something which we created now. And then if it is already someone would have created and they trained it, then it gives us. From the accuracy perspective, when it sees Daivada, it might give some information. Now, grounding information will give what is the exact information which we are giving. We'll see that in it. Workflow, what happens is user has a query, and on top of that, we have our grounding information, whatever the database or some other place. And then both are combined. In the previous example where we were seeing that, it was combining the text file information, the grounding, this information, along with the prompt. So similarly, that's the third step. First step is query. Second step is our existing data source. Augmented prompt is combining both the data source and the prompt, sending it to GPT, and it is retrieving the data. Now, the thing is that where it is useful at many different places, like some of the things is doctor in hospital. So in hospital, some of the people are getting treated, and and a nurse is coming, and what dosage she has to give. So that patient information, everything, assume that near real time we are updating in the database, and they are using some customized chat GPT. Now nurse comes in the afternoon, and it can key in the patient name and tell that what are the medicines which you have given in the morning. So it has got existing data in the data store. They have their own database. It gives us, okay, these are the medicines. Now again, what is that I have to give it in the afternoon? So based on his history, it can go and see what is the treatment, what doctor suggested. All this information in near real time, it's being updated in the database. So if doctor asks, or if the nurse asks, so morning it was given this, now what all the medicines we have to give, what dosage. If we have all the data properly fed into the system, it helps us. I mean, on top of that, definitely whoever the nurse who's giving the medicines to the patient, they have to do due diligence that GPT models might give a proper information, or there might be a little bit biased, but they have to do it on top of it. Or we saw that like a customer support, what happened to my order, or what happened to my refund, or troubleshooting, all these things, they have the knowledge base. Like if you see in installation guides, they clearly give step by step to do it, and then they'll say if at all you are having FAQs kind of thing. Okay, if this is not working, go and check this. If this is not working, go and check this. These kind of steps. So all these things which are already available, we'll be able to do it. Now we'll see one example. We'll jump directly to bulleted point 7. I'll move that. I should have done it here before too. I'll do that. How the life will be without RAG. So I'll come back to this, and right now what I'll do is I'll block this particular piece of code, and we'll look at the code in few minutes from now. But at the time being, we'll go ahead and we'll see this. So here I'm saying, tell me about India, because we are hitting the same instance of OpenAI. This will definitely go and get the content whatever we saw previously. It definitely, it should be almost similar where we were seeing this one. Same thing, we are getting all these things. Okay, so I'll stop this. This is all the life, because it was trained, the model has been trained with tons and tons of data, so it knows that where to go and get this information. So it is getting. Now let's come back and look at some of the things here. Now let's go to bulleted point 3. So what are the resources which we needed? We needed to have the RAG with Azure OpenAI. We need OpenAI resource. Let's see what all the resource do we have. I'll go back to the resource group. So we have Azure OpenAI resource, and then we need to have Azure search. We need to have the Azure search, and for search for indexing and retrieving the data, and we need to have a storage account. So this is the storage account. Now when we come back to the storage account, upload the data. That's the second point. So here what happens is, in this storage account, I can come back to this one, and here there are some PDFs. I just uploaded. It is there in the Microsoft's official documentation. It is there. If you go into the data, you will see this browsers.zip file, where, or it's already extracted. We can directly go and upload these files. So these has been uploaded. So that's a second step. So you can see that we're speaking about RAG, and clearly they have given. And here fine tuning versus RAG. This is one important point. Now fine tuning is we are retrain, or we are doing additional training. We are doing additional training with additional set of data. And RAG is what? It's the API plus we have our own data somewhere which is stored. We have seen that could be document database or search engine, a lot of these things. So that's one difference between both. And add your own data. This is an important step. So now you can see that MD file, TXT, HTML, and PDF. So for this one, we will fall back on this documentation.
Swami,
So
there's a
yes,
question in chat, if you could answer it.
okay. Okay. Machine data scientist, building engineer, yeah. 3 years, and also run AI consultation. I wanted to ask if you're trying to build a basic RAG to talk to the document, are you using predefined? Yes, I'm using predefined AI model. Okay, it's the predefined AI model. So I'll show you that. What is that I'm taking? So just okay. So let me come back to this. So I'll take this. Sort of this is the one. You can go and check this. Okay. You're senior in Gen A and NLP. I just started 8 months ago on this, but Saurabh, you are senior to me in this. Okay. That being said, let me come back to this one. Yeah. For this, we will fall back here to this documentation where we have three pieces. First one is Azure OpenAI, and the second one is Azure AI Search, and the third one is storage account. And in this, we know that storage account, we are uploading the PDF files. Now here we have the Azure Search, Azure AI Search. So upload your data. So let's see this real quick, how to do this. So I'll come back to this one. First, we will see what is that it is creating, and then we'll create our own. Okay, dev002 will create. So now you can see this. It is doing the indexes and okay. So those data sources and this indexes, everything it is creating. We can go little deep into this to see how it is doing all these things. We can see the fields and vector profiles. We didn't select any of those things, but at least the basic one, whatever is there, we just selected to get going on this one. So let's come back and see how to do this one. So I'll copy this name and create a search. Okay, Azure AI Search, and in this I'm taking the search, and in the search service I'm creating it at 002. So let's see, let's follow this exact document. I need to have a search service. So this is what we are creating here. Okay, so AI search, and I'm taking this as US, and the pricing tier, if you see that, it is 20,000 versus 6,000 per month. I'm just selecting to this one. Yep, this one, and review and create. But here, if you see that, if I, the 6,000 is only for base. If I say I need two replicas, it's getting more money. So it's going to cost money. Anything which we do, a single partition, even though it says that it allows more partitions, the moment you either do that single partition of 15 GB or you want to do anything more, you should be ready to pay for that. So here estimated, we can see that 15 GB and partitions, max 3 replicas. So it is whatever the basic it is providing, which is for 6,251 or 252 Indian rupees. So we are creating that, and the storage account already have the documents which were uploaded there. So there are 6 documents which we have already uploaded here. Okay, it's already deployed. Let's go back to the resource group and let's search. There should be, there you go. So you can see that this is the search service which is here. So we already completed this, and the models I've deployed text embedding ADA as well as one of the existing model. Let's see about those deployed models. So we already deployed this last week. I deployed this model last week, and this I deployed couple of hours ago. So if you come and see the, when did I deploy? I deployed this one. I mean, this I deployed 2 weeks ago, and this I deployed around 3 o'clock. Just a couple of hours ago, I deployed this one, text embedding. And the next thing is we need to create the index. So what it has given a step by step process. So what we will do is we'll come back here, and in this import and vectorize. So that's the first option we need to select. And in the connection perspective, we see that it is giving quite a few options. Now here we have our content in this one. So we'll select the storage account, and the container we uploaded to this container. This we are going to leave it as it is, and these two will be unselected. And we do next. And in the vectorize your text, we are going to select the text embedding. It's taking a little time, more than what I. Okay, it's perfectly picking up all these information. And this is the thing. And now after doing that, we need to acknowledge this authentication. We said API key, and then we do next. And here in this, do not select anything, and enable semantic ranking and schedule. This is enabled, and this is once. And on the final page, this I will make it as -2, because I don't want to take it risk. I'm calling it as V2, and I'll just click on create. Now, I mean, I have selected a wrong order, because I should have done in this model, but for some reason I was more interested to work on generative AI. I just jumped into this. That was my wrong decision, which I'm realizing now. Okay, so now we have created this. I'll close it. And now if you come and see here, that is showing few of those things. Now, what it is very important for us is this one, and indexes. Now you see this, it will take a little bit time to perform that index. As of now, if you see that the bytes, the vector size and everything, it shows as 0 bytes. In less than a minute, it will definitely come back. But I just wanted to show you here, which I did it at 3 p.m. couple of hours ago. Now it shows that total document count is this, and here it shows that vector size is this much. So okay, and we can search here. Also, we can go ahead and search. See this, something related to that. It is coming about Dubai. So it's doing this is Search Explorer, which we can use it, but we will leave it at this and go back to the coding. So just a moment, I'll see this, whether it is indexed or not, but we'll not wait for this. I think it has indexed. Okay, so it has indexed. So now I'll delete it because it is unnecessarily, it will cost. So I'll go ahead and delete this. Okay, let it let it get deleted. So let me come back to this one. We did this. We did this. We created the index. Okay, so we use the embeddings to vectorize the text and enable semantic ranking for better search relevance. And it created the index whatever we needed. We saw that, so that the searching, it helps us in doing the searching. We saw this over here. Okay, so let me come back to this, and we saw also. So here what we are doing is we are not sending any of our existing data. It is just a plain old method where we used to do prompt engineering. We used to send the message. Okay, this is pretty similar to what we used to do in the previous prompt engineering things. So now let's come back to the this one. You can see this implement RAG with Azure OpenAI Service. So we did all these things. Now we are coming back to the programming. So here we can see one thing. So this is all previously we have seen that, but I just added three more properties at the bottom: the search index, search key, and search endpoint. So I've added it here. You can see these three. And search index is the one which is the name here. So this is the name of the search index. And endpoint is, we are going to get it over here, endpoint. And if you go to the keys, we'll get the key, search index key for this one. So those are the three things. I just added new one. And this is the same. And one important thing is we are using a little older version of the this one beta, Azure OpenAI, because the new syntax has changed. We have seen in the previous session. So here what we are doing is, here we are creating, let me come back over here. Okay, here we are creating the Azure Search Chart extension configuration. So you can click on this at least to see what it is. So a specific representation of configurable options for Azure Search when using it as OpenAI's Azure OpenAI's chart extension. In summary, they have given a clear cut information what the things are, but as of now, we know that this is the chart configuration. We have the search endpoint and the search key, we have whatever I have shown there, and the index. So these three things which we have already placed it here. This is the endpoint, this is the key, this is the index. So those three things which we are passing into this particular object. Now here, if you see, let's put a breakpoint and look at that. And whatever the information which we have specified as of now, it's very specific to the Azure search and the index what we have created. So we'll kill the breakpoint. Said that tell me about Apple, and I'll come back and go to the quick watch. Now here, if you see that we are having the index name, you see that we don't have any of those other things, but at least because here we are hooking up to the Azure Azure search, so at least we only have those pieces of information. We have the index name, and we have the search endpoint, and you can see that the search information and the index, those two things. So I'll stop it here. And now, if you come back to the chart completion options, in the previous exercise where we were doing that about the code generation, you can see that we created the OpenAI client, and then we had messages, and inside the messages we have system message and user message. Here we saw that system message, user assistant. System message is, we are giving the context. We are saying that you are a cardiologist or you're an expert in software, those kind of things which we have given. Now let's see the difference here is in the messages. If you see in the message, and I changed it. Oh God. Okay. I changed it as an input prompt. That's what I was little uh, just a moment. I don't remember what happened. So here we are taking the input, and that we are passing it here. Chat request user message. Let's come back and see here. Chat request user message. We are not specifying any system message there. So that's one thing which we are passing in. And additional thing what we are doing is like similar to the grounding, not exactly to the grounding, but similar concept. Grounding, we used to mix both the prompt and the grounding text, but here we are passing the link to the search inside this as part of the Azure extensions. So we can click on this and extension options, and we can see the list of extension options. So here we see those capabilities. And let me come back to this, and we see as of now the extension, it could be anything. I didn't try anything other than search index, so we'll use the Azure search here. So we are passing it, and then what is happening is rest of the things are pretty much same. So we go to this chart completion model, and we'll get the response, and we'll go through the value. So those are exactly the same. So those are no difference here also. So what I'll do is I'll just place one particular we'll stop it here. So let's go and we'll try a couple of options. And let me see this. First, let's try tell me about India. Previously, we saw that what is that it was giving. So now let me come back to this one, and I'll say that tell me about India. It is trying to go and get it, but here we have given the data source or the grounding information. Now see this, the requested information is not available in the retrieved data. So it clearly, because whatever we have given is New York, Dubai, and few other places, 6 broches which we have uploaded, in that we don't have. So it clearly says that it is unable to retrieve the data. So now let's see a couple of other things. From this list, we'll come back here. I'm asking, tell me something about this travel company, and we'll try London or some other place. And then, so now if you see this, because that data is already available in the PDF, so it's going and getting this information. Let's see that data here in this travel company. See this. Okay, Emma, this one. That's one page of information. So let me get this side by side, or I don't know how to organize this. Yeah. So you can see it's pretty much giving us the information. So it compiled and it is giving some other information of those CEOs or CTOs. Here you can see that all this information. Okay. So let's try one out of other six these things, because now we know the concept, what is that it is exactly doing, so we don't need to do the same thing again and again. I'll go and grab something about New York or London or Dubai. Anything is one and same for us. So I'll just click on this. It's taking a little bit time, and we know the workflow. To see this, it's giving us the information about the New York City. So we'll see that PDF. Here is the New York brochure. So see, it's pretty simple. And did it give all this information here? So it has given the Grand Central Station. Okay. So Manhattan Hotel, Empire State Building could be here. Okay, this one, Empire State Building, it is given. And yeah, so see this, it is giving pretty much the information. Now when we asked about something which is not available in our Azure search service, so it said that it could not find. So that's it for this episode. It was pretty short because I already pre-created it. And back to you, Harpreet.
So before we conclude, I kindly ask everyone to take a moment to complete the feedback form shared in the chat. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Swami for delivering such an informative and engaging session today. I trust that you find the insights as valuable as I did. For those who missed any part of the session or wish to revisit the material for today's session, a recording will be available on Data Couch's YouTube channel. The link of the recording will be shared on our social media channels and in our monthly newsletter. If you have any further questions or would like to explore additional
Stephen,
resources, please feel
Stephen,
free reach out to us at hello@datacouch.io.
Stephen, there was you were asking about the real use case. As I was mentioning, two or three real use cases is one real use case is about doctors who upload the patient information in real time. Okay, so next time patient comes, he has the doctor or the hospital has got all his information, his case files, including his images, everything is stored in the database. Now there might be other doctors or nurses who has to assistant doctors who has to uh, sit for his consultation. They can get his full information. That's one real use case. Another real use case is like the product information or your refund details, like you have purchased something on an e-commerce shop and they have this bot chatbot kind of thing where you go and ask, I'm so and so customer, this is my bill number, what is the status? It can go and look into the database and give you the status, whether it is accepted or rejected, payment rejected, or it is in shipping or it has been delivered. So those kind of information, Stephen. And okay, yeah, back to you, Harpreet.
Thank you for your participation today. We look forward to welcoming you at our next event. Wishing you a wonderful rest of the day or evening and have a great weekend. Thank you,
Yeah,
Swami.
Saurabh. Yeah, one thing, Saurabh, you were asking about the Llama index, isn't it? Yeah, sure. The vector database that I will do it in Feb, because Jan I'm taking off. So December we have one more session, and Feb I'm sure definitely I will come back with the Llama index and the vectorization of the database. A small project, not a big one, because whatever I get free time, I will create a side project or a weekend project, and I will present it. I'll just definitely do it on in Feb for sure, Saurabh. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, folks.